Oh, I forgot to change my background. Good evening, good morning, good day everyone. I knew there was something I was forgetting. Hopefully the rest of it is working. Hope everyone is doing okay, great, good, everything in between. We can still change the background. Oh, that's the weird me again. It's so. Let me just put the slab on and then change. It's good to hear sentient sense. What kind of mystery pigment shall we do as a background? You know what? It has nothing to do with what I'm going to make. I don't even know what I'm going to make, so I'll leave the question marks, but this at least is a pigment instead of dusty bottles that we had for like 3 weeks if I would have added this week. Good day, Teddy. Well, I was a little bit too early, so I think you are right on time. An update, my shoulder feels as it's being ripped off my body again, so we're back at that. In a week and a half, I have another visit to, they're going to make a scan, and then after that I'm going to talk to a doctor, actually, live, instead of hearing by letter or phone that I need an injection or not. So hopefully there's someone who can help me identify the issue, or at least give me a solution for it. But before that, and I'm just going to promote it anytime possible, before that, the 21st of June, it's June already, I'm going to have a talk at PRI, Pigment Revealed International, which I'm looking very forward to, because hopefully this is me getting kind of mysterious about this again. I have something to show there. I mean, I've kind of I know what I'm going to do, but hopefully I can add an element to it, which will also be the first time I will show you what I've been working on for the last week. Last time I went live, I think this is in my head 10 days, and it's been a crazy week last week, since there's so much going on in my studio right now, new things. I'm really excited about this, and it might be a big fail. I might completely fail here. It might also be the next step in my journey, and if that, if it's going to work, I'm going to make sure I'll take you along with it. So hopefully that's the case. Oh. The changes that were necessary for this, it wasn't, that was like, why would I do that with my shoulder, but it took a lot of physical work. I've also completely rearranged my studio except for the part that we're seeing right here, I think. Maybe a little bit, nah, not really. So for today, what shall we put on the slab? Anything special, wishes, anything out of the ordinary? Just something very plain but beautiful. What shall we do? Well, I've had physical therapy, and they did a little bit of that, and it helps, but it's a little bit, it's a bit double. One of the Maya pigments, that's a good one. I can take Maya green. Like, I have an itch in this shoulder, and this can barely reach out. I mean, this can just wrap around my, you know, I can just go, but this is, oh. Teddy, if it's an inflammation there, just, you know, with in the bursitis, but in the just in that joint, it's the socket of that joint. It's just pushing it apart, and there's tension on the muscles, kind of almost tearing constantly, which hurts. Massage isn't going to help that. Heat can improve it. Heat can make it worse. So it's yeah. I found Maya green the other day, and I put it in a jar. This is literally only Maya green that I have of Sinopia, but this is the original Maya Chrome Maya pigment from Maya Pigments Incorporated, that have gone out of business in 2015, I think. Is it 15? Or am I too early with that? I think it's 15. Which is a shame, because those are actually the that's the company that that brought back Maya yellow and red and yeah. So I can do Maya green. I'm just going to put it there. Any other wishes, suggestions, questions, anything else pigment related that you would like to see or hear about? Let me have a look. I came across a lot of stuff while kind of reorganizing some bits, finding spots for the old pigments out of that mystery box I unpacked 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 2 streams ago. the Kramer and Guerra pigments with those mystery ones. I needed to move some pigments, open some boxes, surprise myself with things that I apparently had. Also, I've had some pigments that I actually missed on my list, which I didn't put in my in the system. So that's up to date now as well. Usually I put everything that hasn't been digitalized, like, you know, putting in my sheet. Usually I throw that in a box, and once in a while I'm just going to register the box digitally, and then they can go into the collection. But some slip through apparently. I want to share that. I can share that. I mean, whether I want to or not, I can do it. At least that's what I hoped. I had some. They're over there, aren't they? Yeah, I think that is at least part of it. No! How? Where is it? Oh, it's here. Okay, so this is a pigment I'm working on. I'm not going to show you that right now. What I can show you, this is the one of the bottles of the Guerra pigment that didn't have a label on it. Apparently it was Pyrrole Red PR254. I compared the spectral curve with the one that I have, and that was nearly identical. Could be the line was a little bit higher, could be a little bit more transparent in my swatch here, but that looked like this Ferrari red, the original Ferrari red, with a letter, with a piece of paper, which was an order, somewhere around the early 80s. This was first introduced on the market around that same time, and almost immediately used by Ferrari as their, you know, very recognizable color. Giful, welcome. After that, I just, you know, I was putting some things in my cupboard, and I have a bottle of highly fluorescent powder. It's not like a fluorescent pigment. It's it's one of the strongest brighteners there is. It is a fluorescent pigment. It's not white. It's not yellow. It's basically what a pure fluorescence chemically looks like. I think my hands are still stained. I mean, I'm touching my face and everything, but I made Olo basically, like, you know, I'm over Stuart Semple. I've just blocked everything. No, not blocked. I just deleted everything that I follow. I don't see a thing anymore, which, you know, brings peace. But that development of, you know, seeing a color you usually don't see, that was interesting, and putting and marketing it is something that I wouldn't do. But I was interested in, okay, can I not give you or give anyone, pretend to give anyone that color out of a tube, out of a pen, on paper, but can I bring it to you with a black light? I mean, basically, they're shining a laser on your retina, in your retina. It's like, no, not retina, on your cones, and that shows you, you know, this was actually something I'm quite happy with. It doesn't even need a lot of, I mean, I can hold it from afar. It doesn't need a lot of it, and it just immediately pops, other than what my fluorescent blue and yellow or green do combined, mixed. To be fully transparent, titanium white, the fluorescence powder that I have, the chemical powder, and phthalo green and blue, and a little bit of it. And what amazed me like most, this is a pen. I mean, it's like, I like this. I don't really do fluorescent colors, but you know, it's neat. I think it's not glow in the dark. It looks like a glow in the, like what glow in the dark should do, but it's like an on and off version of it. So yeah, it was something I've never tried before, and this was a neat little experiment with the fluorescent chemical and two, you know, very well-known, widely used pigments. Yeah, I've seen a headline, Gulchen. I'm going to look up tonight. How come neon paints aren't light fast? Well, basically, what a fluorescent color does is they absorb wavelengths and they reflect others, or in another way. What that does is also emitting something. Lost the word, but because it emits it while having that reaction with the wavelengths, with the reflection, it loses its ability to do so. So every color that it emits in a more intense version, so for instance, fluorescence pink is basically rhodamine, probably combined with a fluorescent powder or white powder. Rhodamine is a dye which has that kind of effect. Thank you very much, the Paolo. What I tried to explain there, but there it is. Can I actually? Let me see if I can. Can I put this in my screen again? Yes. There is Paolo on my screen, giving a proper explanation. Entirely. And to end it. Thank you, Paolo. So yeah, I had some, like I said in my last live, I had some neon or fluorescent pigments from Kramer that I ordered for this exact reason, because the ones that I had were like from a same pigment box from 2 years back, I think. Very old art studio, and they had like old jars, jam jelly jars with rusted lids on it. I think they were 20-30 years old. They still looked kind of neon, but like a pastel version, still brighter than pastel. And it wasn't like if I turned the lid open, it was like more fluorescent from the inside because the sun didn't reach there. It was just kind of lost its, yeah. There is a faster light, a light faster neon pigment on the market. It only comes in yellow though. Tortilla Rep, welcome by the way. Sorry we were in this, me not coming out, getting out of my words, Paolo filling everything that I couldn't say as usual. Very happy with that. we have glycerine. I think I don't know, but hello. I'm fine. How are you? Welcome. Yeah. Yes, Mr. Pigment. It does reflect it, but it doesn't act like this. So that makes it different from a fluorescent or neon pigment, if you will. No, Paolo, it's not. It's not from them. They are all not light fast. And also, I still think it's a little bit in development. But it's interesting to see that, you know, there's some development going on there. Gulchen, you do that. Live a little. Just drink soda out of your tea mug. Wait, Paolo, which brand are we talking about right now? I'm going to grab myself a drink as well. My tea is now it's gone. Quickly looking if everything is all still working here. Yes. My numbers here say, oh, now it's weird. YouTube's acting up again. Okay, Maya Green on the slab today. And for that, I'm just lazy as well. I can grab another, but I'm just going to get a clean glass. Cheers, everyone. And let me just make sure I am going to share the link for Pigment's review just now at the beginning of our chat here. And with this, I'm going to pin it on the top, pigmentsrevealed.com. That's at least the link to, so you can register for my talk the 21st, where I, like I said, hopefully will introduce, show, hopefully release show, my next step. I'm looking at it right now, and I just can't wait to get started, but I need a little bit more materials and a little bit of adjusting my workshop for it. So like I said, I really hope I can actually show something then. I really want to tell you, but I want to, you know, in case it doesn't work like this, it's just me flat-faced on what happened. What I had in my head wasn't apparently possible, but also if it does work, I think it's really worth it to show it to a wider audience. And maybe I'm just hyping it too much, and maybe it's just a big disappointment then, but maybe again it isn't. You have to see yourself. Maya green, which basically looks like Maya blue. It's a little bit like ultramarine green, which is sometimes too blue to be green. What should we do? 2? Let's make it 2. I cleaned up a bit, I reorganized my desk a bit, and I'm still not really used to it since I've been doing a lot of other stuff, all pigment related though. I think this is about right. The Maya blue is that is it's true. The Maya blue is it's a natural. It's an indigo version. Not all aren't, by the way, but it is a little bit to the greenish side. This should be more greenish. You're saying it's like fully green. Hopefully I didn't give you a dot that I've tried before with this. No, I don't. No, I found it after that. Okay, I'm going to test that later, Gulchen. Right, I mean, this is the only jar of green I have, and the blue that I made, that's that one. Where's the jar of it though? Jars, recently made jars, Maya blue. So there's a bit of difference. There's a bit of difference. This is slightly lighter and a little bit more blue. Now it's you can probably see it, right? I mean, there's a clear difference, but by no means is the Maya blue as, for instance, this one from Kramer, which is an unnatural blue for me, but it's very similar, a little bit more turquoise than this. This is a little lighter than this, but this Maya blue, it's a little bit more gray than this. Then there's a light one, which is just really like a light gray version of that. And it's very similar to one that is made by micro-swirls, who works with natural pigments. Maybe the naming is just wrong. Looks a little bit like Perylene green. Well, this is definitely bluer, which is weird for Maya green. But I have to admit, the intensity, the darkness of the paint itself, it's almost black. The Maya Blue from Kramer, I think, wasn't the ones that they have now. I can check it. But as far as I know, that pigment is all of the market, out of the market, from the market. Let me have a look. Maya Blue, data sheets. Made with Theo Indigo and bentonite. And Theo Indigo used is not what the Maya pigments used initially, not for the blue anyway. But the thing is, with the Maya pigment, the Maya Chrome pigments, as their brand name was. Some have pigment numbers, some don't, and there's no chemical information about those. So Kramer gives chemical information here, which is a sign that it's not from theirs. The blues were indigo based, but then they had orange, violets, green, yellow, red. The technical part of how the Maya pigment was produced is true to the original recipe, but the ingredients used weren't. So instead of natural dyes, or organic dyes could have been used. I'm going to talk about this during Pigments Revealed International as well, because this has been a kind of a one of the black holes I've been trying to look into lately. I can talk a little bit about this part, and I'm not going to talk going to talk too much about it. But you know, again, I invite everyone to join us, just to get in touch with other people as well who like pigments in a completely different way. It's what I noticed. There's a lot of people that work with natural pigments, foraged pigments, not a lot of people use pigment numbers, or know them, by heart. And that's, pigment is a pigment, and that's just another branch of it, I would say. But basically, what I've been looking into is, in Maya pigment is just an anorganic dye bound to, or an organic dye bound to an anorganic clay. And Oh, Paolo, let me know what you're looking for, what you're interested in. I can send you some of the the original Maya Pigments of Maya Pigments Incorporated that I have. Like, it's not the original ones, obviously. But yeah, it's a weird kind of black hole I ended up in, because there's no chemical information about those. There's nothing. This label. So the only label on the bag, Maya Green, genuine. Sounds pretentious, but okay. That's it. Price, the amount of it, the website of Sinopia. Nothing more. And like there's a big bag of it, of the yellow here, and the red. It's all the same. Like might be able to show you. Let me have a look if I can. Do we have a, yeah, here, there it is. Maya red. Like that's the only thing, and it's a huge bag. Yellow as well. And the blue as well, by the way. I mean, it's all Maya indigo blue. That's the only difference. It's not a color, but it actually states the dye, and which is different from the others. It does, and it's still, like, their Instagram is still in existence, but it hasn't been updated since 2021, I think. So that means that they've gone out of business later. Let me have a look. I had a screen open with this. Should be somewhere here. Myochrome. No, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Here. No. No. This really was a deep dive I did. My God. Their Instagram is still live, and this is what they show me. This is what they showed us. Didn't have a lot of followers. Their website is not working. This is blue. This was 371 weeks. There it is, the date. 2018. So 2019 probably they went out of business, I think. Maya red, yellow, which looks green, by the way. Was that not like Maya violet? Another blue, another red. Maybe the same. This is RB1000A, or just B. I don't know what this is, but this looks fluorescent as hell. No comments. Ah. Now there is. This is it. This is it. So, like, not a lot of activity there. Did they use Anato as, was that in there? Did you see that, or did you just look that up? Paolo. Gotta remember that I have a very bluish green on my slab. Ah, okay. Paolo, would you mind sending me a link through Instagram? Or a copy? You know, but I think mixing the yellow that I have, which it looks like a quite opaque yellow. Mixing the yellow that I have and mixing that blue, which is already very green, would give a better Maya green than this is. I probably very sure about that. I don't think we can send files through Instagram actually. You can share a link to a file if it's on a Google Drive, which is what I've done on Instagram, but or any drive, by the way. Nice. In case you didn't believe me. Nice. Swatching. Let me have a look where I have some swatch paper. I thought I had smaller. Yeah, there they are. Yeah, I'll do both of them, Gulshan. Thank you, and thank you, Paolo. Let me get a big brush for a nice swatch. It's quite a lot, but that's okay. We can see this green in all its blue glory. This is looking exactly like the Maya blue I had. This is the green. Sorry, like, where's my screen? This is the green. This is literally the same stuff as this looks like my bottle. So this is the green, and this is the blue. Green, blue. So yeah, it's Zantrua, welcome. And thank you. And this is very blue for a green. I'm just keeping the question marks in the corner there. I'm not going to say this is Maya green. I can see why they ran out of business. No, I'm sorry. That's not nice of me. That's not nice. Why would I do that? I'm not good at marketing as well, but this is definitely not green. But we'll put it on a spectrometer. Maybe it reflects a ton of green wavelengths. I don't think it will, but you never know. Oh, that's completely ruined. Nice. I'm just going to make dots out of this because I don't have a pen for this printed. Can we see it next to the blue swatch? Absolutely. Let me get a blue pen here. I think I had some half-filled ones. There we go. And let's get a fresh brush for that. Also one that is a little bit more, a little bit larger. Why has the music stopped again? Let's re-wet that. Also wet the brush on a clean piece of slab and make some space for this piece of paper. Oh, there was my finger on it. Look. Everything is just fine, guys. Trying to let as much pigment be absorbed by the brush. Now we can do it more. There's definitely a difference in this. That blue looks way more green than green. It looks more turquoise. It looks more tealish. So there you go, Teddy. Well, basically blue, Maya blue is indigo mixed with white clay. This looks like that. My Maya blue looks more green, looks more, you know what I mean, right? It's more mixed with yellow than if you were to mix this. It has a very, I'm going to close up that show the close up. It has this granular quality to it, which I really like, but I need to adjust my camera a little bit. I think the focus, at least. Let me have a look what I can do with that. Blow it up on the screen like that, and focusing it needs a little bit. We need a little closer focus. There we go. There we go. So there's a granular Yarrow Marigold with Peligorsky. Oh, there you have your answer, Santra. So yeah, interesting to see them both next to each other. In my head they were more similar. But again, maybe the spectrometer is going to show something very unique on this. Maybe not. Yeah, but you know, there's a lot of differences in indigos as well. But is kaolinite the same? Does that have the same reaction as peligorskite, attapulgite? So to explain to people, but Paolo, please correct me or add anything if necessary. What peligorskite is, what Paolo is talking about. It's a clay that's basically like a tube, like this, like a tube. Whereas another piece of clay is like a well, this is not solid, but more like a solid piece. And why the Maya colors are so light fast and why they've lasted for so long is because the organic dyes that are bound to the clay actually penetrate the clay. That's like it's being absorbed by it. It's not just coated, but it's like all the way in. And it can be done with indigo dye and peligorskite powder, both like in powder form, and just heating the powder. You don't even need to wet it. You can wet it. It can help with a little bit of more like absorption and get a more even result. But just heating it mixed dry would do the trick. But then again, but maybe but kaolinite, what is that, Paolo? I mean, it's like a clay type, but does that have like the same principle? A lot of Maya green dots. That is interesting that it gives a completely different color. Ian, welcome. Welcome, good evening. Yet another dot can be filled, I think. Definitely two. Just one. Nah, just one. So yeah, there's that. It's a little bit like showing ultramarine blue next to ultramarine green. A little bit of disappointing. Maybe it has a nice uses. Ultramarine green. I don't know if this has. But I think they could definitely gotten a brighter green, looking at the fact they have a bright yellow and a blue like this. I mean, they're not, at least Paolo sent me the paper, but let me have a look if it works, Paolo. Yeah, it is right in front of me. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, not going to look into... No. Then I'm completely losing you, or you're losing me. I don't want that. Just let's stay active. Come on, don't be distracted. I'm talking to myself, by the way. Okay. So not getting distracted. Let's put this screen right back here, otherwise the music constantly stops. We made Maya green, at least what is being called Maya green on the label, and it looks exactly the same as the stuff they put online back in 2018. Is it green? Not really, but let's have a look at the spectral curve it will give us. You know what? We're going to compare it to ultramarine green. You know, the bluest green that I have, probably. Ultramarine green. So I'm going to put that green over there and the color bar. Let's also share my screen. That's you know, a little bit. It's more convenient for you. So this is ultramarine green. The spectral curve of it, as you can see, not a lot of green, a lot of blue, some yellow, some red, a little bit of violet. Let's compare. Why did it drop connection? I was charging it through USB, but it had a USB connection, so that's why. And let's compare Maya green with it. Oh, that's gray. I really don't know what to say except that kind of disappointed. I mean, I didn't expect like that shifted just a hair. I didn't expect things to show up on the spectral curve in a way that was like super surprising, but this is just purely disappointing, I think. I'm waiting for that blue to dry, just a little bit more. Yeah, so give me your reaction, people, please. Whether you're in the chat rewatching this, what do you think of this? Because I really don't know. I'm a bit embarrassed. I think that's it. I'm a bit embarrassed. I'm talking spectral curve, not like a flat horizon of spectral nothingness. This is just. Like, I didn't expect mountains, but at least some hills or something like this. This is just like the Dutch landscape. It's just flat. This is painful. I'm just going to do this. At least this is green. So yeah, that was disappointing. The Maya Blue. Well, I am not quite sure if I had. Oh yeah, just. Did I already add that to my? No, I didn't. I think I did. Wow, I'm good. I'm sorry about that. My blue. It's not spectacular as well, but at least it's recognizable as a blue. A very greenish blue. I mean, that's clear. But better than this. The same amount of red. This is the interesting part. It does go down in the same way. From 620 nanometers, the wavelength is exactly the same, and everything before that, everything between the violet, this way, the violet and the yellow wavelengths is just nothingness compared to what the blue does. Well, I can, I can scan the glass as well. I mean, I've never tried that. Not quite sure if it's going to work. Oh, that's even less. This is new for me. I have this is an old microscope glass, and which I was about to throw away. So I'm just going to clean it with my shirt, which I shouldn't do. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to put it on the wet paint. I'm going to put this right over there. Get a little bit of a smear going on underneath there, which is the most amateuristic way ever, but I'm desperate right now here. Even less. Yes, I managed to do that. Okay, never mind. I'm putting this away like that. Okay, can we rewind an hour and 10 minutes and just start over? To be honest, the glass, it looks kind of neat though. I mean, just move that in and get that reflection out, but that glass looks kind of neat. what it's doing right now. But yeah, that's well, I can maybe I can see how, like, this is, it reads like what it's giving back. I can read what it's reflecting, but we'll probably basically nothing. 0.0 out of a, like, super, let's just say out of 100. 0.1 out of 100. Put a white piece, put a white sheet of paper below. But like with this, I'm not even showing you anymore. This is how embarrassed I am. Basically, I'm scammed by a company that went bankrupt or out of business. And I didn't even pay for this pigment. But still I feel scammed. Still, I want my money back. But I'm going to sell this as Maya Green Genuine, because this is Maya Green Genuine. Probably one of the only bottles left of it. Maybe just the only bottle ever sold, but yeah. So Maya Blue is starting to look lovely. Oh no, not the spectral curve. Just get that one away. Maya Blue is starting to look lovely next to it, and I can imagine why it looks like a green on its own. But like in the midst of this monstrosity of a green, that looks like quite like a blue. So yeah, now I'm left with dots of genuine Maya green. I'm just going to market it as a rare pigment. Oh, red alarms behind me. You can see the red light over there as well. You can see it in the corner of my eye. Quite sensitive, but there's a little bit of a draft here of a ventilation on there. Better. Which you will see later, someday. Why? But my toxic pigment cupboard, I've changed the settings a little bit. It's a little bit more sensitive right now. Also, there's a red light that will turn on if you open it, which I think is quite a lovely detail. But the drafts, the red lights, goes off, and I get notifications everywhere when that thing opens. But I still need to put some cobalts back. But the draft just makes the glass move enough to give me an alarm, since there's some quite toxic stuff in there. One of the things I found is PG-15. I didn't know I had that. Which was zinc chrome green. Chrome green. Extremely toxic, known as a carcinogen. tetratogen, hazards associated with lead, chromium, and iron. Extremely toxic, highly toxic. Also for your skin contacts. So yeah. Yeah, Zandra, this is, like I said, it's like a sea green, sea blue, green, blue. Let's call it a blue. Let's call that a blue. Way more than that green does. No special blacklight properties here. Nothing there. That's a shame. Maybe just lit up, you know, no. Maybe we do. You're just going to put that over there. Forget about that. Teddy, what do you mean? Where did the Maya go? Oh, this pen was already kind of ruined. Now even more. Yeah, now I already had a spectral curve of the blue. It's a rare pigment. I shouldn't be joking about it too much. One of the things that I did today, while kind of remodeling my studio, was drilling a hole in the wall. And you know, you have those special drills for that. That didn't work on my wall. I don't know why. I rented one, and after an hour or 3 of constant failures, it just didn't want to do it. Also, to be honest, I think the teeth on that, like on the front, the saw on the front, it wasn't. I don't think it were enough teeth, saw teeth, to be honest. So eventually, that's also a reason why my shoulder hurts a little bit more than I want. I had to drill out that hole with a small drill, a long one, but a very narrow one, and kind of perforate the wall. And using a hammer and a chisel to break it out. It's fun for 5 minutes. But not when you need to do, what is it, 5 inches wide, 8 inches deep. Not fun. Not fun at all. I have no idea. Doesn't the Indiana Jones movie explain that? No, but seriously, I don't know. I don't know enough about the civilization. I know that they're much younger than I always thought they were. less ancient. But I've been kind of deep diving into pigments, and not so much the usage. No, that's not really true. No cultural history around it. That's true. But there must be someone here who does know it. Be careful there. Oh, Mr. Pigments, you didn't miss a thing. Except for the rarest pigment ever that made just such the most gorgeous color. I wish it were true. I mean, probably rare. That's about it. I'm not even showing you, like, if, you know, I can do this, but then you see the dots, and I'm not even going to show you the dots anymore because it is such a secret. The color, it must be kept secret as well. Sorry, Paolo. No, it's just it's not the idea of the pigment, but the execution of it. It's just not green. And to be honest, I don't hate the color. It's not green. If you would call this like a Maya Paints gray-ish, fair enough. Paints attempt to a Maya pigment, but I wouldn't call it green, no. So, yeah, like I said, I found some really interesting pigments that I kind of knew I had, but I forgot about them because I didn't put them in my list of pigments. And after I saw how toxic PG15 is, I'm not going to make it. I mean, it has like the same toxicity warnings as Shields Green. Yeah, I don't feel like I don't feel the urge to make it, especially not now. I wouldn't make it now during a live, but yeah. There's been some other weird stuff that PG48, for instance. Also chrome green. Not toxic. It's weird stuff. Also some reds like PR 242. There was another, like there was a bag of something that was it this? These were parylines, right? No, those are parylines. Let me have a look. A big bag of PR81 rhodamine pigment, rhodamine lake. I don't know. It's listed as rhodamine 6G PTM salts, but Paolo, maybe you know more about it. It's a lake version of rhodamine, basically. Well, cadmium red is doable. It's not like cinnabar. Cinnabar is on the. You don't want to breathe that. It's within the same. Let me have a look what it says. Does it say anything? Any warnings here? Extremely toxic. It's cadmium is you don't want to breathe it. You don't want to inhale it or ingest it. But it's a heavy pigment. It doesn't really get airborne a lot, and if you take just if you work with it a lot, you wear a mask and make sure your hands don't get covered in it. Cadmium is good. Zantra, wow, okay. That sounds interesting. So I have some arsenic-based pigments here as well, but no. There's definitely yellows, poisonous yellows. Blues. Let me have a look. Blues. Are there poisonous, toxic, or dangerous blues? That's a good question. I don't think there are actually. I mean, obviously there's cobalts. You don't wanna No, you have now the cobalts. You need to be careful with cobalts, but if you use them a lot, you have azurite, Egyptian blue, PB 30 and 31, 32 a little bit. Cobalts, need to be careful with all of those. But the copper is more than the cobalts, I think. But they're all listed as hazardous in some forms. But you know, like black, you have galena, which is a natural occurring lead pigment mineral. Sorry, extremely toxic. You have cobalt black PBK13, which is extremely toxic, more than other cobalt pigments. The browns, they have some, you know, you have some manganese and I think that's one, which you should be careful with. Greens, obviously, the arsenic ones, the chrome ones. Orange. Cadmiums. Some more than others. Yeah, Gulchen, but Yinmin isn't toxic. Not after, like, not in the way that it is treated in comparison to other manganese pigments. And reds. What is this? No, not looking into new things. No. Cinnabar. A long list of red pigments. Probably missing a few of those indications that they're toxic. Cadmium, obviously, the lead ones, lead red, molybdate. Is that about it? I think that's about it. Cobalt arsenate, which is basically cobalt violet, but made with arsenic base compound. Basic violet 10, a dye. Why is that listed as hazardous? Because I think I have that. Okay, a lot of the dyes are toxic apparently. Anthraquinone violets, PV7, pigment violet 7. I don't have that. Not looking into it, not doing it. I've stopped doing that. I can't do it. I've had that with enough. Ammonium cobalt phosphate, PV102. I do have that. PV102. I thought that was just PV14. That looked a little bit off. And then I looked at the label and it said PV102. And I was really surprised by it. There was another one of those. I was, hey, I have this. Extremely toxic. No, hazardous. Not extremely toxic. PV49. PV47. Cobalt lithium violet phosphates. Basically the violet cobalts. Anthraquinone sounds like super. Yeah, yeah. I can imagine that. And then you have the whites, obviously the lead whites, PW1, 2, and 3. Extremely toxic. The antimony white, extremely toxic. Lead tin yellows, if we are here with the yellows to start with. Realgar, orpiments, barium chromates, barium chromates. Barium chromate, PY31, is listed as extremely toxic. Now that is something I wasn't aware of until now. And now I have worked with it. Living on the edge. Barium chrome, really? Oh yes. Oxidizing, toxic, harmful, health hazard, environmental hazard. Toxic if swallowed, harmful if swallowed, may cause allergic skin reaction, toxic if inhaled, harmful if inhaled, may cause allergy or asthma symptoms, or breathing difficulties if inhaled, may cause cancer, may cause damage to organs through prolonged or repeated exposure, very toxic to aquatic life, very toxic to aquatic life with long-lasting effects. Okay, maybe they should put it like super big on the label. PY31, where are you? Because I'm quite sure you're not where you are supposed to be right now, which is tucked far away, far away, far away. Or did I already do that? I'm not aware that I did actually. Did I? Let me just. The yellows are Realga, Genuine Naples, Cron, which is cobalt, I think. Barium sulfate, barium sulfate with cadmium. A barium sulfate with cadmium mix. This is barium chromate. That is like an unlabeled mix, which I just put in that cupboard because it has barium sul and a nothing and a it in it. There are some letters gone. That's what I wanted to try to. But barium sulfate, where is that? PR 113. 1. Cadmium sulfate, mercuric sulfate, precipitated on barium sulfate. Basically, that's correct. It is an orangey yellow, barium sulfate with cadmium something something that's all not readable. So I'm just going to put a question mark on there if that is PR131, 113.1. Let's put that on there. Which is interesting because I didn't know that I would have. Oh, cadmium. Yeah, wait. Is that Is this the one? No, that's 35. I see a lot of scary stuff here that I really forgot about because this is not like a cupboard I visit a lot, just to put it like that. PY34. PY34 Chrome. I have that, I mean, that's on my list. But I forgot about it. Let's Chromates. It's actually sold a lot. Oh, that's also the same as Chrome Yellow. PY34. I'm just going to Sentient, see you next time. Thanks for joining. Oh, Zentra, that's scary. I'm going to look for if I can find PY31, because I want to make sure it's in there, and I want to make sure that the things I just saw and read about stay there. One of the pigments I also found is PB73 violet. So it's a cobalt pigment, but violet. And I forgot to swatch it. So let's also do that. Maya paper. I just have a few dots of it. But I thought it was neat. I have more pigment of it, but I thought it was neat that a PB pigment was more violet than something that I... Did I swatch it? No, I didn't. I don't think I did. Maybe I did, by the way. I'm just going to swatch it right now. It lights up beautifully. I mean, oh, I can... Let me just swatch it. I mean, I really enjoy this. I've read about him. Atotsotsli. I think that's your net. Oh, this is really hard to read as well. Well, never mind. It's the color of my screen. Yeah, I've read about him. It's really interesting how the colors are tweaked. His look on that. So this is PB73. Let me write that next to it, because if you would show me this and say that's PB73, I would not believe you. But just to compare it with a few granulating pigments, pinkish granulating pigments. Let me just put it like that. I think that's a better thing to do. Obviously looking for ultramarine pink here. Let's also put a cobalt violet next to it. Where, oh where is ultramarine pink when you need it? Blue, 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 blue. These are all black, 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 black. 31, 2, 6, 10. Brown, 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 brown. Violets. 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 And violets. Violets. Green, green, green. Green, 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 green. Blue, blue, red. Red, red. 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 By the way, if you don't agree with what the color is, these are colored groups. PR, red. Even if it's kind of brownish or pinkish, it's red. Red, red, blue, blue, yellow, 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 orange, 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 definitely orange, orange, red, red. Obviously it's the last one. So, looking at these beautiful pigments, well, we just start with something chemically more similar, cobalt. Then let's go to something mosquito. Yes, I have it. With cobalt in it, Yintico. And then that seems more like symmetric. just reading like half along with you, and some scary stuff happened and been invented. It's nasty. But looking at this range, I can positively say this looks definitely different than anything I have. It's more granulating than ultramarine pink. It's more opaque than PV14. Less saturated as well. More in line with the saturation of Yintico, but slightly tinted towards violet instead of the red earth desaturated Yintico. And then, after that, obviously comes Potter's Pink. Interesting addition. I might add it to my line of hair. I don't know. Let me have one more look. Wait, we had. Don't feel the need to wait. By the way, if I say it like that. Let me just look if I can find something in my pile of yes. There it is. The Orchid. What was it? PR 236. Chrome Tin Orchid. Way less saturated, but also a granulating pink. So this is a nice, I think, nice collection. PV14, it is. It's the closest thing we have, I think, to a true magenta in pigment form, or PV49, or PV102, which is toxic. But the tinting strength just makes it useless. It's not tinting at all, and it doesn't want to mix nicely with others. So that's a shame. I mean, you could say like you name what kind of yellow, a good lemon or very kind of in the middle there yellow, highly saturated, a benzimidazolone yellow, or I don't know, maybe even better version. Manganese blue as the cyan, and this as a magenta. That would be like a super punchy primary triad, except for those will mix terribly. The yellow, depending on what you use, probably best of all. Manganese blue is terribly granulating, so you would end up with PB17, phthalocyan, which is maybe better, not granulating, better mixer, so you might have that covered. And then we have this, which is beautiful on its own, like this, almost fluorescent. Bismuth yellow as absolutely an option. But the tinting strength of this and how it just falls apart in mixes, that's terrible. So I will do this later. I will read everything back, by the way, what you've been talking about. I noticed that Paolo said he might be ranting, so it definitely makes me want to read back. I'll do it later. I like that. Oh, sorry about that. Thing is, seeing all this, and this is, I'm just thinking, like, seeing all this next to each other, as little swatches. If I would just take these away and just see this, I wouldn't say this is PB73 at all. Like I wouldn't even start with a B. Like, no. But it would feel like I already kind of have it in my line of paint. Like I offer it, or it's something that feels familiar. But that's just because I think it's a combination of a lot of these elements that, you know, especially maybe like if the more well-known used ones, maybe even just this. Color-wise, it's closer to this. Textural, it's closer to this. So yeah, there is that. I might have taken just one little sip to think what I'm going to do with that. I like the way you put that. Let me just put it in the screen. Then we need to put it in the screen. More a shadow color. It's dark but not quite as deep as a pure black. It has more depth to it. I definitely agree with that. You can definitely use it. I think I can try. I mean, I have the paint over here, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to make it very late today, and I think it's already quite late. It feels late. If you mix a little bit of red with it, how it would switch to like a more neutral or very dark gray. What happens if you add yellow to it? What happens if you mix it with white? Maybe. Thank you. I have the time over here. Like my screen can do that as well. But thank you. And like I said, it feels late. Just the feeling of it. It feels later than it is. Let me just state it like that. We can. Shall we do that? The spectral curve will definitely. I don't even dare to call it a curve anymore now. By the way, the spectral reading will happen at a later time. But what I can do, since you know there's a filled pen somewhere in the midst of these. Now there's two filled. No. I was able to save this, but this wasn't able to save this. Wow, it's not pouring out of the pen if it falls over. That's weird. It's like a sticky, gooey. So what I want to do, first let's get rid of this. What I want to do, add a little bit of titanium white on my slab. And mix it with this to see if we can, in a tint, we can get some of the curves going on. Magically it all went green now. It just goes grey. What a surprise. It's a bluish grey. to be honest, it helps a little bit compared to this. Compared to this looks greener to me now than this. Just saying, okay? This might not be worth anything, me saying that. Oh, definitely don't think it is. But also turns into delicious. Definitely more blue right now. This is it. This is interesting. I'm glad I've tried this. So this is just, I'm going to do it in a few steps. Now I'm going to add a little bit more titanium white. Very amateuristically going to clean my brush like this. Now we want to go look for the moon. Wait, I'll be right back. Then I need to walk all the way to the street and then I'll be gone. Way too long. I notice the opacity that the thank you, Paolo. I'm going to send you a message back. By the way, I'm going to read it, but I'm going to send you a message back with a question that I have for you. That actually turns into quite a lovely sky, skyish blue almost. It's a Dutch sky. A little bit cloudy. Just a bit overcast. Yeah, I know. I could have used a different white for this, but I actually want to know what the white does, and not the white of the paper. So that's why I used titanium for it. If you're wondering why I'm making shapes like this, it's just big enough for my spectrometer to read. Just purely practical. Ian, not again. Leave those poor people alone. Okay, so let these dry, and I'll make a spectral reading of it tomorrow. I don't dare to suggest this will get, you know, to be a spectral curve, but you never know. Yeah. That was my sign, I think. I'm going to do that. And I don't think you just want to see me packing a cupboard with toxic pigments. If you do, just, you know, feel free to say so, but otherwise I think I'm just going to go. Yeah, right, this is like slightly overcast. Imagining like a sky, especially looking here. If you have like, just going to put, you know, this out of the way so there's no shadow. If you have something that, you know, mixes with water like this, and like the clouds going on in the sky, make the sky a little bit darker. And there's a little bit of clouds going on the sky there. This is skyish. And then if we just dare to give it a nice horizon. Oh no, that's enough. This is just playing around. Paper dip. Yeah, I'm not. I don't think that this will do anything. I'm, you know, happy to do so, but I'm really afraid that that's just a waste of paper, to be honest. I think this is a little bit thinner paper. We can definitely try like half of that. Should I pre-wet the paper or not? I'm waiting. Pre-wet, not pre-wets. I'm just going to let this soak in tonight. Making sure it gets a chance to actually soak in. And I'll see what happened tomorrow morning. Guys, I'm going to go. I'm going to look for the moon. I'm going to pack a highly toxic cupboard. What is this red one? This is another one of that weird cadmium some things. No, it's not mercadmium. I also have chromate yellow orange, which is super heavy, so it's probably lead. Like I really need to wash my hands after this, but vermilion, mercury sulfate. This is heavy as hell. And I'll have jars like this with greens, yellows, reds, deeper reds, more orangey reds that are as heavy as this is, that are not readable. It's a giveaway. Like, if it's this heavy, putting it in that cupboard. Pigment shouldn't be heavy. Not unless it's very toxic, so yeah. Hopefully this does something. If not, it doesn't. Guys, thank you very much for joining. It was a fun stream, I think. Hopefully next time I'm going to show you a little bit more excitement in the spectral curves. If you haven't already, please think about registering for the talk on Pigments Revealed International, which is pinned on the top of the chat. The link to register there. It's the 21st of June, next week Saturday at 9 my time, which is in the Netherlands. But you know, if you register, it's via Zoom. There's a lot of people. I think the first day of registering, there was already 50 people that registered for it. So there's probably a lot of people who will join us there. It would be nice of you to join. Maybe meet some other people. It will basically be me giving a demonstration like this, very familiar, very trusty, familiar setup, but talking a little bit more about why pigments. It's such a big part of who I am now, and why it takes up so much time for me to work on it, or work with it, or think about it even. So yeah. Pamina, thank you for joining. Good to hear, everyone. I hope I'll see a lot of you there. If not, very fine. I'll be here most Wednesdays. I want to say every Wednesday, but you know, with my kids, sometimes it just doesn't turn out exactly as planned. So hopefully see you again next Wednesday. Otherwise, hopefully that Saturday. Thanks for joining, everyone. Have a great day.